Hey, what's good, everybody? What's good? So, I'm doing a tutorial on the UAD Waterfall Rotary speaker. And this thing right here is definitely a game changer. Uh, it's gonna take your organ to a whole nother level. And I'm not just saying that just to kind of hype, the whole plugin up, but I've been, looking at tutorials and everything, and I've realized that I've been looking online trying to find tutorials on how to configure it so that it can work with I'm using Reason. I'm using Reason 12, and I haven't found any tutorials on how to configure it, because the organ itself, as soon as you plug it in. Now I have it on bypass right now, but as soon as you plug it in, the organ is going to be spinning, and I'll take it off bypass real quick, just so that you'll see the automation of it. I'll turn it off right here. You see, it's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning. Soon, that's what's going to happen as soon as you put it on, and it's going to make your organ sound really good. Now, the way I'm recording this, I don't know if you guys gonna if it's gonna do the justice as far as sound wise, so that you can hear exactly how the Leslie is sounding the way that I'm hearing it. But if you already have this plugin and you're trying to figure out how to configure it, then this is going to be a good video for you, and because you already know exactly how the Leslie sounds. And I will tell you, I'm saying this because you guys might not be able to hear it the way that I'm hearing it, but just because of how I'm recording this. But yo, this Leslie is definitely a game changer, and I'm not hyping it up. It's definitely sounds like a realistic Leslie. Um, and I wish I had the capacity to hook it up in a way where you guys could hear it the way that you're gonna be able to. When you hook it up in church, you're gonna take your service to a whole nother level. Um, and this definitely is a good substitute if you don't have an organ in your church, or you guys have maybe maybe some kind of digital organ, or an organ that takes Midi or something like that. Then this is going to be your saving grace. I'm trying to tell you, this is going to be your saving grace, and it will definitely take your mediocre organ to a whole nother level. So this is what you're going to have to do. All right. The first thing you're going to have to do is, I'm going to click out of this first. Choose an organ. If you're and this is for people who are using Reason. If you're using Reason and you have Contact, well, I'm using Contact 5 right now. You don't have to use Contact 5, but this is just some things that are standard that you're going to have to do. All right. So you pull up your organ, whatever organ that uh you have, and I haven't automated my drawbars right yet. I'm going to soon. But this is all new. I'm just figuring this stuff out. Okay. So, and I'm only using the upper keyboard mode. Okay. So you're gonna pull up your organ, whatever organ you have. I turned the vibrato and all that off right now. Um, and you want to go to wherever your Leslie is, whatever your Leslie settings are. Mine's here in the amp area. I turned my rotor off. I turned my Leslie, the air that's I turned that off, and I even turned off the reverb on it because I want a dry sound. I want it as dry as possible. And this is what you're gonna probably get. You're probably gonna get something like this. Kind of sounds real, basic and kind of boring. So that's what you're gonna get. At least that's if you're using contact 5, that's what your organ is going to sound like if you're using these settings or something like that. So, all right, so let's click out of here. But all right, so now you have your organ, but you want to get that Leslie sound. All right, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to go into your show, insert effects, and inside of here is where you're going to choose. You're going to, you're going to choose your the waterfall organ speaker, and it should be in here. All right, so your organ is down here, your effects is going to be inside of here, inside of this little area. All right, so this is going to pop up, and when that pops up, and I'm gonna take it off of bypass now, so that you can see how this is how it's gonna be when you first pull up. Now, of course, the miking is gonna be a little bit different because you haven't set it up, but this is it's gonna be spinning, and it's gonna take your organ from that basic sound that you heard. Now, that's cool and everything. It sounds a whole lot better. Um, it sounds a whole lot better. But the problem is you need to be able to control the Leslie speed. So the Leslie speed is right here. This is the Leslie speed right here. Now, at this moment, if you have it and you don't have it configured, the way that you're going to have to control the Leslie speed is with your mouse. Now, in a real service, you do not want to be doing that. You want to be able to control, you're going to want to be able to switch back and forth easily. So you're going to want to be able to use your module, which should look something like this. On your keyboard, you have your pitch bend right here, but you have your modules wheel right here. On your keyboard, you should have something like that, that's moving, back and forth or whatever. But this is what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to be able to configure this to do that. Okay. You're going to need to be able to configure this. So the way that you do it is you go to remote right here, go to remote. It's going to say click a parameter. You go there and you click right on. This is the parameter that you want to click on. So you go to edit, remote, override mapping. Click that. Now, your keyboard, whatever keyboard or organ, whatever keyboard or MIDI controller, I'm sorry, that you're using should pop up right here. Your MIDI controller, whatever the slave is, should pop up right here. And then, so if it's not there, then you need to configure it to make sure that your keyboard is popped up on here. So when you get to control right down here, this is what's going to control the actual plugin. You got to click on here. It's going to say something totally different. So you're going to want to scroll all the way down. It's going to probably have a whole bunch of stuff, but you're going to want to scroll all the way down and click on modulation. Once you click on modulation, then click OK. Now, I've already have it set to where I can control it, as you see. So if you see my if you see how it's going up and down, that's because I'm controlling it. See that? Hear the difference? Yeah, so right there, it sounds wonderful. I can control it with my modulation wheel myself, and I don't have to use my mouse. Now, the next thing that you want to do is, and this is just a preference thing right now, in service, a lot of times, if you're playing on a real organ, you're gonna have this mechanical noise going in, and I don't know if it's gonna pick up here, but a lot of, when you're playing on a real organ, the mechanical noises is when your Leslie is moving through a service, and if it's being mic'd up, then you can hear it in the mics. A lot of times you'll hear that wind just moving. Well, you can turn that wind off, so that you can get a cleaner mix from your sound engineer, and your sound engineer won't be trying to figure out how your sound engineer will be sitting there trying to figure out how to cut that out, because that's going to be annoying for him. But you can turn that off. So that's the first thing I normally do. I just go in here and I turn off the mechanical noise level. Um, and the other thing that you want to do is set your mics up the way that you want to set it up. So here, click on here. You have condenser mics. You have about 3 condenser mics. You have 2 dynamic mics. You have 1 ribbon mic and a tube mic. For me, I like the ribbon mic personally. That just sounds a lot more for the horn. To me, that just sounds a little bit more better for me. That's what I like. That's my preference. And then for the drum, I chose the 47. It's gonna be on the 7, I think, when you first get it. But I went and clicked on a 47. I think it sounds a little bit better. I don't know. I don't have foot pedals right now, so I don't know how it's going to sound when I add foot pedals to it. But without the foot pedals, my low end did sound a little bit better, and that was just my preference. You don't have to do that. And the other thing that you could do, you can choose a different position, I'll say, that you want your mic in. If you want it on the side like that, and it's going to sound a little bit different, when you choose different miking positions. For me, for the horn area, I like it like this. It's probably, when you first get it, it's probably going to be like that. And you might like it that way, or you might want your miking like that. But for me, this is what I chose because that's just what sounds great for me. The other thing that you could do, you can change the speed rate of your of your uh of your Leslie, the horn or the drum. You can go and change the speed rate as far as how fast or how slow you want it. Let me see if I can demonstrate. Let's see. See how fast it go? I'm changing this. Yeah, I don't really like that, but you can do that if that's what you want to do. I normally just keep it at the regular one. Okay, so that's just that. Those are just preference things right there. For me, I like to just keep things very simple. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that that you're able to hear the differences, but it's going to sound a lot different when you're plugged in with your own equipment and everything like that. But I guarantee you're going to love the sound of the Leslie. Um, it definitely, like I said before, it's a game changer. Whether you hear it on this video or not, when you plug your keyboard in there, when you plug your whatever organ that you're using, if I'm saying it could just be the most basic sounding organ. If you plug it in there, I'm telling you, it's going to take it to another level. And make sure by every cost, make sure that you turn off the Leslie, whatever Leslie that your organ is using. Turn that off. Turn it off. You don't want 2 Leslies running at the same time because it's not going to sound great. At least from what I've heard so far, it's not going to sound great. So that's my spiel for today, and I hope you guys like the video. Yeah. So, peace.